on the backdrop of the podium, the Capitol. On either side, there's two of them flanked of Roman fasciae. They're called fasciae, F-A-C-I-A, I believe. But what that is they would have this tube of rods, like a paper towel tube, and it was tied on both ends. Inside there was an axe, and they would carry this around for discipline. There's 3 levels where if somebody was getting out of line, whoever you presented the fasciae would walk up to them, wherever they were speaking from, and sort of stand there. That's the first line of, aggression to message. Presentation of violence. Stage 2, if they didn't fall in line, they would take one of the rods out of the construction, almost like a tube made out of tubes. So they would take out a rod and beat the person with it. The axe is in the center. That's what stage 3 is. Axe. You get the axe. 1776, the War of Independence and all this. So why do we have in Europe, the reason this whole separation of church and state, freedom of religion, came because Europe was ruled by the Vatican, the Holy Roman Empire. And I mean ruled. That's why it was like, let's get out of here, Well, if you're a farmer and you raise cattle, and you're like, well, Mr. Johnson, he passed away, his farm's up for auction. I know how to raise cattle because I've been doing it since I was a little kid. My dad did that. So we raise cattle, and you're like, you have 120 acres. There's only so many cows you can raise on that piece of land. What happens if you want to double your business? Well, you go and you purchase another pasture. And then you just start breeding more cattle and populate the new pasture, which is what America is. It's the same people who controlled Europe. Okay, so 1776, 100 years later, all these structures in Washington, D.C. were essentially completed. Okay, it's called neoclassical, which is a mixture Greek-Roman architecture. So essentially, the Roman Empire was oppressing Europe, which is what drove people over here like a fire would drive gazelles. And then they started building roads, for the people. Like a sort of a breeding program, if you will. Why would the powers that be that broke away, that started this country, emulate the very thing they just escaped? If you think I'm wrong, look how everything's turned out.